The Chronicles of Aqualìa, part of the Chronicles of Akasha, purified and written anew before your time, part 1. And the world kept turning, even though many would not have thought that possible. But it were not many who exerted their influence. It was reserved to few, to serve during this process. And they did it well, just like others before them. And while the world continued to turn, it began to change. The weather changed, globally and all year round more pleasant, since the rotation had changed a bit and accelerated. Also, a different sun, which was farther away, helped to provide the additionally needed energy for the planet. The network had been established that all suns of this galaxy and this universe had accepted Earth in their conglomerate, because now Earth vibrated higher and had become compatible with the further developed worlds, beings, and collectives. It was now easier for these to helpfully influence Earth, its systems, and inhabitants. It no longer contradicted the law to directly teach and support, nourish, and align to divine order. A fairy tale, a dream, a vision had become true. And by supporting humans individually in their alignment to their soul plans, their energy and focus was withdrawn from the systems that had abused their power for thousands of years, contrary to divine order. And like that, without further flow of attention and money towards those systems and organizations, one after the other had to close their doors and give up their depraved and meaningless work and doing. It still took years, in some cases decades, until humans had brought all things back into order, which they had caused harm to, and until all negative consequences were neutralized, until they had obliterated the debt to their planet Earth, until divine order had been installed internationally and globally as active basic law in all societies and peoples. But with the support of their allies and friends, amongst them also those souls that were incarnated as Ray children, it went way faster than anyone had expected. Well, humans, sometimes they were real little minds, but they grew and they learned increasingly faster. Dutifully and diligently, they implemented the impulses for advancement, innovation, and healing developments. So their planet became a blooming oasis. And according to that, from that transformational process onwards, every human brought the fruit that had been inherent in them from the beginning. There were a few who did not want anything to do with this development. They isolated themselves best to their abilities on a mountain, in the hopes of not being influenced or affected by the reversal. It was pointless, since the mountain was not a planet of its own, but part of a big whole, connected through global and cosmic universal streams with all existence on this planet and beyond. And after some years of repeatedly people dying who had not wanted to evolve further, who could not, those souls simply chose to try again in a different incarnation to do their service and bring their fruit to the highest good of all. And they managed, usually, easily and effectively. So much resistance had broken away, had been neutralized and brought into divine order. After those years, those substances and foods and things for daily use that people had been used to and which had been partly harmful were no longer available. So those who still wanted them tried to keep their soups cooking, which failed fast and thoroughly usually, very much to their dislike, or renounced them. After some more years, new generations grew up who were curious about life outside of their isolation, and in the end, the generations forgot why their ancestors had hidden away, and with joy, enthusiasm, and in peace, they joined the rest of the world with their free will, and the world was finally unified again. Blessing.